Language and the dominance of Hindi is another hot potato in the southern states, particularly Tamil Nadu. The report says we must abandon the one nation, one language illusion. The three-language formula is a profound policy failure. English must be the permanent official language of the Union, the permanent link language of the Union, and entrench English permanently as the language for all constitutional courts. Now, that is what the report wants. Give me some pros and cons for that. As to how, see, we got to carry the rest of the country with us. So how do you think the rest of the country would react? What are the pros and cons of adapting this policy?
This question of, to put it problematic, to make Hindi is the national language and everybody should learn Hindi, etc. It is not going to happen without huge political upheavals. In fact, the entire Tamil Nadu politics is based on the anti-Hindi platform. And if you're going to push it down, it's going to lead even to violence and other serious consequences. We know what happened in the anti-Hindi riots which took place in the mid-60s. Now, as far as this question of pushing Hindi right through, it is again going to be a serious setback if you push it through for the nation as such, because it will lead to so many social problems, political problems. Now, one thing I've seen, because my wife works with an NGO which runs a lot of schools. There is a huge demand for English medium instruction, right? The schools where the regional languages is the thing, the admissions are declining. Many classrooms don't have enough number of students because everybody wants English, because that's the way for upward mobility, that's the way to get into jobs and so on and so forth. I think we must take a lesson from Lee Kuan Yew. When he first became Prime Minister, the first decision he made was English will be the language of Singapore. Though you had Chinese, Malay, and Tamils, he said if you have to come up in the world, we have to have English. So I think this question of each state downgrading English, and ironically, all the ministers shouldn't go to the best possible English medium schools, but they insist on Tamil medium and Hindi medium and Marathi medium. And ironically, like in Tamil Nadu, for the free midday meal scheme, only if you're studying in Tamil medium, you get the midday meal, which is ridiculous. Why not a poor boy studying English medium? So to answer to your question on this language issue, I think there should be a national policy of promoting English with the regional language. And those who want to study Hindi will study. You see, when I was young, I was in Madras at that time, many people joined Hindi Prachar Sabha, because if you want to appear for the civil services exam, if you want to get into a central service, knowledge of Hindi is important. So today, if I feel Hindi is going to be necessary for me to get into the civil services or to get into a national thing, I will also automatically study Hindi. Don't make it compulsory. When you make it compulsory, there's a backlash. So let's just leave it to the local population. Let them read English and their local language, and Hindi can be an optional subject. That's the long-term solution, I think.
You know, let's look at the country as a whole. We only have the 2011 census so far. As for that census, if you look at the five southern states, around 15% have knowledge of English as the first, second, or third language. If you look at the five largest North Indian states, they are at 3.5% in terms of knowledge of English as first, second, or third language. You know, we do a fair amount of election work. So we go to rural areas. They say convent school. But there is no nun, and there is no teacher who knows any English. I mean, how do we get enough teachers of English language to get people in the north? I mean, it can't happen tomorrow. It's over 30, 40 years. Get them to a level of where they feel they can compete. Because now everything that matters nationally is done in English. So the question is, how do we organize that? What does the government do to provide help to people who go to schools? As you're absolutely right, most people now don't go to government schools, they go to private schools. Private schools that say they teach English. The quality of the teaching is terrible versus the South, where they've been teaching it for years and the quality is much better. So with that, if the North is a terrible disadvantage, how do we resolve that issue?
As you rightly put it, it is a serious problem which admits of no short-term solution. But as you put it, that see, that's why now I was told the civil services exam you can now write it in your local language. You can write the civil services IAS exam. I'm told in Hindi also. I'm told, I don't know how far that's correct, but because you don't know English, you now make it convenient to do it in Hindi. And what happens to an officer who comes to southern states if he doesn't know English? I'll also tell you, in many of the northern states, in the district judiciary, they speak only the regional language. There's no knowledge of English at all. So if that district judge is going to become a high court judge, how is he going to deliver judgments? Rightly or wrongly, the language of the courts is English. Under the constitution, though the language is Hindi, under the Official Languages Act, English is to continue to be the, but English is not an official language under the schedule, you see, ironically. So I think that on a language issue, though this person recommends English and thing, I think we should make it, let the northern states start. The southern states had English. The northern states can catch up in 5 to 10 years, but English must be given as an option there. And in northern states, many of the people who can afford it, they go to a private school where English is taught. You see, a person uh, pays sometimes a substantial part of his salary just in paying the school fees so the child can go to an English medium school. I'm not talking about quality of teaching, but at least the
But
child
they
knows
are
English.
as far behind in English as the South is in Hindi. They're really struggling in
Yes.
the North and East. So it will take quite a fair amount of time for them to catch up.
That also has a link with the higher per capita income of the southern states. I don't know if English is a correlation, but more upward mobility, more jobs in the IT sector, more jobs in various companies will go to the people from the southern states.